Joining us now in Studio B, our good friend and associate head basketball coach Tim LaComb of BYU Hoops. We're here, man. We made it to an actual game day.
We made it.
What were your emotions like when you woke up this morning?
Really excited. Having a Monday game after Sunday and having Sunday off, obviously, and a lot of time to think and contemplate, and then for it to be here, we're excited. It's a fun group of guys to be around, a great group of guys to coach, and we're excited to get this thing rolling against a really good team tonight.
You've seen the Cougar tip-off. You've seen against Westminster and BYU Hawaii. What did you learn after the exhibitions that maybe you didn't know before then?
It was good. It was just good to get a bunch of guys who hadn't had time to play some time and get them out there. I think we have a pretty good feel for the strengths and maybe even weaknesses of our team. But it was just good to get the lights on, have guys perform under the lights, and for the most part, we played pretty well. We played with really good energy, which was kind of our main emphasis. It was good to get a couple guys like Elijah and LJ who hadn't done a whole lot, prior to that, into those games and get them kind of acclimated into the lineup as well.
Dave Rose alluded to the fact that this team's going to make fans go, whoa, a la the Yoli Childs put-back dunk. But then there will be some moments where you kind of scratch your head like, okay, what were you doing
It'll
there?
Be like, whoa.
Different emotions right there.
Keanu Reeves both ways, right?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You brought up the fact that you have a good idea of strengths and weaknesses. So let's talk about those. What are the strengths and weaknesses of this team?
Start with strengths. I think that this team is really, really put together well. I think that we have really good depth in all the positions. I would say that probably the team's number one trait right now is they're pretty unselfish. This has been something that we've always tried to get our teams to be, but this team is just a step ahead of that. I was talking with you guys off the air about I feel like these guys really could care less who does what most nights. I think it's a matter of us getting the win. Our practices every day have been really steady, have been good as far as effort and focus. So I think that all those things are really a strength and a positive. I think we can really score the ball, and I think it comes from a lot of different ways. I think we can throw it, inside. I think we can score from the outside. We're certainly pretty good in transition, and I think our half-court offense has become a little bit better because of our willingness to share it and be unselfish. Defensively, right now, I think we're ahead of where we've been because we have a few guys who have played this system. At the high school level, and we have a couple guys who we're counting on to really help us that have had an opportunity to be in the defensive system for over a year. Speaking of Kyle Davis and Elijah, some guys that have holdovers from last year. So continue to get better on the defensive end, and then one of the real keys will be how we make up for. Kyle Collinsworth was an unbelievable rebounder, and he cleaned up so many things for us. And so that's going to be something we're going to have to do by committee this year. So as we get stops, and a stop is a stop when you get a rebound. So hopefully we can play better defense together, and then we can get that ball and get out in transition. That'll really make us a better team.
Yeah, when you sit back and you think, wait, we have to replace the West Coast Conference Player of the Year, all-time leading rebounder and assist guy. That's not necessarily easy, but there's, like you said, there's lots of guys on this team that have a lot of talent. Our Twitter question today, who will be BYU's leading scorer tonight versus Princeton? It could be almost anybody on this team, which is pretty wild.
It is. I'm really hoping that I get a chance. I've never led a team in scoring at any level, so it would be really awesome.
It's not going to be Terry. Is he out of the boot?
No, Terry'd he'd be disqualified because of the little wheelie thing he has to use. No, it could be anybody, and I think that that's the beauty of our team. I think when you scout a team, you look to try to take away A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. There's certainly guys that people are aware of and want to take away, but we have a pretty deep lineup, and more importantly, we have a team that's willing, if they're covered up, to make the extra pass and get somebody an open shot. And I think that's one thing you've seen in the three things that we've done, the Cougar tip-off and the two exhibition games, that our guys have been willing to do that. So that's exciting. I'd be interested to see how that Twitter poll comes out. My guess is it'll probably be split pretty evenly.
Yeah. Now, looking at the Princeton Tigers, like everybody you talk to, whether it be a player or a coach, it's like, man, they're really good. What concerns you most about what they bring to the Marriott Center tonight?
Well, their experience. I think all five of their guys that projected starters have started 50-plus games. And so just the experience having done this before against a team who's got a bunch of guys who are talented but haven't done this before, that's one thing. But they're really, really well coached. They understand what they're out there, their objective, and they work as a team to get it done. Had a couple national guys call Coach Rose this week and like, what are you doing scheduling Princeton, your first game? But we believe
you scheduled that.
Coach looked at me. We believe that it'll be as good a non-conference game as we'll have. They're projected to be in the 30s in RPI. So it's a great way to start out. I think that, there's lots of different philosophies, but for us, we've gotten the exhibition games out of the way. We expect a really seasoned, tough, veteran, well-coached team to come in here tonight. And, we've got to be certainly playing at our best to be able to beat them.
They sound like St. Mary's in terms of kind of those attributes that you bring up. And I want to ask you about the health of the team. Not just L.J. Rose and Elijah Bryant, but it seems like the guys post-mission, Mika and Haas in particular, they look physically really good, and they've had about 6 months. How do they look?
They look great. The guys really bought in this summer to the strength and conditioning program with Coach Shork. And, I think at the very beginning they were all kind of wondering what they'd gotten into. But they all swear by it now. But it pushed them and it tested them. And it created a real environment for them to get better physically. And I do believe our guys are in good shape. I feel like conditioning-wise, I think we can run up and down. Our first opponent, exhibition opponent, Coach Grant Leap told me he feels like we could run up and down forever. He's like, man, you guys could go all day. And that's kind of what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to run up and down all day. But I do believe that they've hit the weight room, and I think their bodies are in good shape. Knock on wood, hopefully everybody can remain healthy because that's a real key ingredient to a great season. But feel like all the guys have done a really good job of preparing themselves physically for the season.
It's time for us to do our part, Coach, and grant you the BYU Sports Nation karma.
I love it.
Michelle Vasconcelos scored the game-winning goal for BYU women's soccer on Friday, and she came on the show that day. So you're here on a game day.
So there's a chance I'm going to be the leading scorer.
So you might be the leading scorer.
If you're the leading scorer, we're probably in trouble.
Yeah, we'd been in really big trouble. I'll put it that way.
Coach, thanks for the insight, and we can't wait for tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Let me say a shout out to my parents in Cambodia.
Oh, they
watch this in Cambodia. They watch you guys every day. They're crazy. So anyway, they're out there on a mission in Cambodia, so I want to say hello to them.
Shout out to the LaComb family.